Hi students, today we are going to discuss about the chapter that is atoms and molecule. So myself Vivek Sajan teaching you science subject in Chandrakanpadi Central School Kalburgi. So let us move to the topic that is atoms and molecule. This is the third lesson which comes under the chemistry session. So ancient Indian and Greek philosophers have always wondered about the unknown and unseen form of matter. The idea of divisibility of matter was considered long back in India around 500 BCs. So the idea of divisibility means breakdowning of smaller and smaller atoms. So that idea came into the Indian brains around 500 BC. An Indian philosopher Maharshi Kannad postulated that if we go on dividing matter, that is padarth, we shall get smaller and smaller particles. Ultimately, a time will come when we shall come across the smallest particle beyond which further division will not be possible. So, if we go on dividing the atom or the matter into smaller and smaller pieces, one stage will come. At that stage, we can't divide that matter or atom into further small piece. Okay, he named these particles as Parmanu. That undivisible particle is he named that one as Parmanu. Another Indian philosopher, Pakuda Katyayan, elaborated this doctrine and said that these particles normally exist in a combined form, which gives us various forms of matter. So these Parmanu will always be in combined form, and in combined form they will give various forms of different types of matter. That was shared by the another Indian philosopher also. So around the same era, Greek philosopher Democritus and Lucifer suggested that if we go on dividing matter, a stage will come when particles obtained cannot be divided further. Democritus called these indivisible particles atom, meaning indivisible. So another one, ancient Greek philosopher, that is Democritus, given these smaller and smaller particles he named that particle as atoms, meaning indivisible. All this was based on philosophical consideration, but not much experimental work to validate these ideas could be done till the 18th century. There is no experimental proof to show that this is the smallest particle and this is known as Parmanu. Like that, we can't say. There is no experimental proof for this until 18th century. By the end of the 18th century, scientists recognized the difference between elements and compounds and natural. So neutrally became interested in finding out how and why elements will combine and what happens when they combine. At the end of the 18th century, scientists were found that they have differentiated compounds, elements. So naturally becomes interested in finding how and why elements combine and what happens when they combine together. So N.T.L. Lavoisier said that the foundation of chemical science by establishing two important laws of chemical combination. Lavoisier said that two important chemical combination laws, that is law of chemical combination. So in that we are going to come across, first law is law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. So is there a change in mass when a chemical change reaction takes place? So there is no mass change occurs. Only chemically the product will change, but mass will be the same. The law of conservation of mass says that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in any chemical reaction. In any chemical reaction, mass cannot be created nor be destroyed in any chemical reaction. It will be balanced. Okay. So for example, they have given here one experimentally proof for that one mass cannot be created nor be destroyed. They have taken this one conical flask. They have taken conical flask. Inside that one they have taken small this one tube, ignition tube they have taken, and they have taken one cork. Inside that one they have put this one solution as a Y, and inside this small tube they have put solution of X. Okay, this is the conical flask, and this is the thread by which they have tightly fitted with the cork. So after fitting the cork, they have mixed this solution is different and this solution is different, but whole the mass is same. Whenever we mix these two solutions inside this flask, the mass will be same, but inside the chemically they may change, but whole the mass will be the same. So this is how the statement proves that law of conservation of mass states that mass cannot be created nor be destroyed in any chemical reaction. So next we are having second law of constant proportion. So law of constant proportion states that this law was stated by Proust. In a chemical substance, the elements are always present in a definite proportion by mass. So Proust said that the law of constant proportion states that in a chemical substance, the elements are always present in definite proportion. In any chemical substance, the elements are always present in definite proportions by mass. For example, H2O. So H2O, in that two atoms of hydrogen are there and one atom of oxygen. This is the constant or definite proportion of elements are present in any chemical substance. Okay. So next, the scientist Dalton will come. According to the Dalton, they have said one atomic theory. He said that according to the Dalton's atomic theory, all matter, whether an element or a compound or a mixture, is composed of small particles called atom. Dalton atomic theory states that all the elements, compounds, or a mixture, it may be a heterogeneous or a homogeneous mixture, all they are made by the small atoms only. The postulates of this theory may be stated as follows. Dalton atomic theory, they have given some postulates about this one. You have already studied in 8th standard also, I think. So they have given some 6 postulates of atomic theory. All matters is made up of very tiny particles called as atom. All the matters are made by very tiny particle known as atom. Atoms are indivisible particles which cannot be created nor be destroyed in any chemical reaction. This is the second postulate. All the matter, first postulate states that all the matters are made by a tiny particle known as atom. Second postulate states that atoms are indivisible particles which cannot be created or nor be destroyed in any chemical reaction. Third one states that atoms of a given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. Atoms of a given identical elements, atoms of a given element are identical in their mass and chemical properties. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, so if you take same two elements, for example one oxygen and another one oxygen, they are identical in mass. One oxygen and another one oxygen atoms are identical in mass and chemical properties. Okay, atoms of different elements have different masses and chemical properties. Atoms of different elements, if we take same elements, then they are identical in their mass and chemical properties. If we take different types of elements, then they are not same in their chemical and mass. Chemical properties and mass are different from each other. So atom combine with the ratio of small whole numbers to form compounds. Atoms will always combine in small whole numbers to form a compound. They always combine in a small whole numbers, not in division of fractions. Okay, they always combine in whole numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like this they will combine and they will form a compound. The relative number and kinds of atoms are constant in a given compound. The relative number and the kinds of atoms are constant in a given compound. If we take any compound, for example H2O is one type of compound. If you take that H2O, then there will be the relative number and kind of atoms are constant. There is no changeable. If you change the elements or compounds in that one, then it will become a different substance. So the relative number and kind of atoms are constant in a given compound. If we take any given compound, then they are having a constant number of elements in that one. These are some 6 postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Okay. So we will study in the next chapter that all atoms are made up of still smaller particles. They are neutron, protons and electrons. We have studied that one also. Okay. So what is an atom? Have you ever observed a mason building walls form the walls of a room and then a collection of rooms to form a building? So what is the building blocks of the huge building? What about the building blocks of an anthill? Is it a small grain of sand? Similarly, the building blocks of a small matter are atom. So like that, how you will construct the buildings means we will take a small pieces of bricks and we will construct we will put that one by one, and afterwards we will going to construct the building. Like that only, all the matters are made by the small particles. They are known as atom. In our body also we are made by the small one particle, that is known as atom. Okay, or else we can say the smallest unit of our body is cell. Okay, like that all the matters are made by the small particle. They are known as atoms. How big are atoms means? So atoms are very small. They are smaller than anything that we can imagine. They are beyond our imagination. Or compare with more than millions of atoms when stacked would make a layer barely as thick as this sheet of paper. So more than millions together, atoms together, they will form a thickness of paper. You can see the thickness of paper. How thick is that one? That will made by the millions together atoms. Okay. So atomic radius is measured by the nanometers. One atom is there, then that atomic radius is measured by the nanometer. Nano means 9, 1 10 raised to 9 nm. 1 meter is equal to 10 raised to 9 nm. 1 by 10 nanometer is equal to 1 atomic radius. Okay. So they have given the radius of different types of atoms also. For example, atom of hydrogen is having 10 raised to 10 minus 10. 10 raised to minus 10, water is there, 10 raised to minus 8, hemoglobin is 10 raised to minus 4, grain of sand 10 raised to 2, and so 10 raised to minus and watermelon atoms. So they have given different types of that one also. We might think that if atoms are so insignificant in size, why should we care about them? This is because our entire world is made up of atoms. So why should we care? Why should we study about the atom? Means our entire world is made by the atom. So that's why we are very curious to study about the atom. So we may not be able to see them, but they are there and constantly affecting whatever we do. Through modern techniques, we can now produce magnified images of surfaces of elements showing atoms. This is the magnified image of surface of silicon. This is the magnified image of silicon. Okay. So we will discuss this topic in the next session. If you have any doubts in this one, law of constant proportion, law of conservation of mass, Dalton's atomic theory, so some philosophers of Indian scientists and philosophers of Greek, they have said the different opinions about their thinking. If you have any doubts, please comment in the comment box. We will discuss that doubts and we will clear that one also. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye guys.